It's Mr. Bass. It is August. It is hot. It is humid. Horseflies buzzing around everywhere. Snakes, ticks, chiggers. But hey, I got water to fish. So that's all that matters. What I'm doing today is I'm going to try to concentrate on trying a new lure for me. And I was pretty excited when I saw this being advertised at the Bassmaster Classic by Chris Jones. It's the BOOYAH MOBSTER jig. And it's a swim jig. And I'm pretty pumped about it. I'm going to take it out on the water and try to fish it pretty thoroughly and see how lucky I can get. Now out here where I'm fishing, one of my favorite honey holes, the main forage is bluegill. So there's one particular color here. It's called Tommy Gun. And to me, this is a very good bluegill imitating color. So this is the color I'm going to start with. And I believe I'm going to put one of my favorite jig trailers is the Berkeley Chigger Craw. So I'm going to put a Berkeley Chigger Craw on the back of this first and see how that does me. Let's give her a go. All right, I'm starting with the Berkeley Chigger Craw and the 3-inch version. It's a small profile bait, but it really works good as a jig trailer. And you just kind of thread her on there. Now the pinchers usually come attached. I separate those pinchers and then I just thread it up on my hook. And when you're putting a crawdad trailer on the back of a spinnerbait or a chatterbait or a swim jig, there you have it. That's what it looks like. I think this is a pretty good looking bluegill imitator. Really like the way that thing looks. When you're putting that trailer on, it's nice to have it straight like that. But if you're a little crooked with a craw trailer, not that big a deal. It's a lot bigger deal if you put a swim bait trailer on the back of it. And the rod I'm using today is a Castaway swim jig rod. It's a Bill Lowen Castaway swim jig rod, which is a heavy action rod, but it's got a little softer tip. And of course I've got me a nice Shimano Metanium reel with 15-pound test fluorocarbon. This is the Metanium DC. Really nice reel as well. So here I am with the new BOOYAH swim jig. And what makes this Mobster swim jig unique in the swim jig world partly is the shape of this head. It's supposed to come through cover really well. It also kind of acts as a keel so it doesn't flip over on its side. It has a very stout hook, and it's a nice weed guard, but it's not super stout. It's really a lot softer than I thought. And it has a 30-degree line tie, which is supposed to matter. So really looking forward to seeing if the hype, if it's worth all the hype. Okay, that happened pretty quick. Yes, it did. Probably my 6th or 7th cast, and had no problem choking down that Mobster swim jig. Nice. There's number 2. Not a huge one, but it's a fish. He choked it. Nice. So far it's holding up fine. I think they're really kind of hunkered down underneath the grass, and this grass mat, you know, this isn't a punching jig, so I can't really punch it into the grass. So I'm just trying to get on the edge. And that's where both fish were that I've caught up to this point. They're hitting it hard when they do hit it. What's funny is listening to Chris talk about this, you know, fishing it in really thick stuff, and I kind of pictured in my head it would be a much beefier, less finessey swim jig, and yet it feels very finessey to me, which is, it's not a bad thing by any means. It's just, it's kind of surprising me that that's not really what I was expecting. See, I'm just kind of trying to hug the edge of the grass there. Maybe I should be vibrating the tip a little, but I'm not right now. I'm just winding, varying the speed of my retrieve. Okay, number 3 came off that wood lay down there. And this is one of the things that they say is that this swim jig is not just for grass, but you can throw it in the thick stuff, in these, in lay downs and brush piles and stuff. So I plan on doing that. I got lay down here, here, there, and I'm gonna throw this thing right in the junk and see how it holds up. That's fish number 3, so pretty sweet. Feels like the swim jig's holding up fine. My chigger craw is holding up fine. So that's cool. Spot lock on. Let's just see what we can drum up here. There's one. Little guy. I saw him actually hit it under the water. The water's dirty, but I can still see with my sunglasses several feet under. And that one came right after it. He just followed it out of the brush pile. One thing about a swim jig, you can really cover a lot of water with it. So one of the things Chris said is you can throw this the same place you would throw a spinnerbait, but it'll come through better. And this is the kind of laydown that I would throw a spinnerbait in. Some guys may not, but I believe in really throwing it, chucking it up in the junk there. And so far, he's right. It has come right through it. What I was hoping is there'd be a bunch of fish in there. Number 5. Also not a giant, but they're definitely choking this thing. I mean, when I can find the fish, they are inhaling that mobster jig. Now the little fish, they're choking it though. They like this swim jig. So that was a really fun day of fishing the Mobster swim jig. These little swim jigs are really pretty darn cool. I really enjoyed fishing with them. They come in 2 sizes, 5/16 and 1/2 ounce size. I hope this was helpful and informative. Hopefully you got something out of it. Maybe you'll want to go try these. Swim jig fishing, no matter what brand you use, you got to have it in your back pocket. It's just a great, great technique. I hope this was helpful and informative. If so, please subscribe to the channel, smash that like button. Until next time, this is Mr. Bass. Happy fishing!